Man is Monday. You already know we right here. We're decided to hop on, chop it up with individuals. See, well, it's not Madness Monday. I mean, it's Terrible Tuesday. See, I'm all confused. Wanted to hop on to see what's good with everybody in the lokes. We just set this up. There we go. Yes, it's the midnight edition. MOD After Dark. Whoopsie. Homie, what's cracking? Mr. Is definitely up in the for the all these sound represent the brocheros. What's crack? Hope you guys are having a lovely Tuesday. Oh, that's right, washing the ranflita. Eso es todo, carnal. Hey, gotta take it. Hey, gotta take care of it, bro. Gotta make it look nice. That way you can pick up all the females, my boy. You got this. Taco Tuesday. Oh shit. And Torta Thursday. I feel you. Hey, LeBron James tried to trademark fucking Taco Tuesday. Se pasa de verga, el güey. Like, bro, how you gonna try to trademark Taco Tuesday? Ya se está pasando de lanza el camarada. Ya nomás que juega por los Lakers. Se cree bien salsa. Hey, dijo que tiene derecho, Ay, vergas. Hoy nomás. Che, güey, ya quisiera. Dodgers won the World Series again, back to back to back, baby. The Dodgers are elite, bro. It's just like, hey, imagine how many championships we would have won if in a row if Houston didn't cheat us because they did, and if the Red Sox didn't cheat us because they did cheat. We would have been back to back to back to back champions. Oh, how they hate it. Would cartels that tell on their own rivals be seen as snitches here in America? Here in America, that would be considered a snitch, right? But they operate different, so you get what I mean? Really, I really don't know the workings of that because I know if they tell on each other, they'll get whacked. But I guess if they tell on their rivals, they won't. I really don't know. You know, because of course we're out there for everyone to see that El Chapo did cooperate, but no one seemed to care. So I don't know. It's strange. Like I said, I can't speak in behalf for them. Like I'm not a cartel member, so I wouldn't know. I can only speak on what I seen. Or cartels seen as snitches by Soreño. Like, nah, they're not seen like snitches like that, right? Like, I'm not saying that cartels tell, right? But I'm saying that El Chapo was cooperating. I'm saying, right? But I'm not too sure about the inner workings of theirs, right? We're merely just spitballing here of like maybe why they allowed him to still function if he cooperated. It really doesn't. I don't know. It's hard to understand. I'm thinking maybe because it wasn't on his own. Maybe I don't know. It's strange in itself, right? Because I have never heard of such a thing. Because normally, if people cooperate, they get whacked, right? But he seemed to be fine, and I'm telling you, when I say that this information is old, I mean it's old, right? And people were, and he was still, running his empire for many, many years. So, and people knew this information, right? But yeah, I'm telling you, it's strange. And I'm thinking maybe because he was the boss and he was paying, he was paying everybody the feria. Maybe that's why everyone allowed it or was cool with the idea. I don't know. Like I said, I'm only trying to give him like my perspective on maybe why it was allowed. I don't know. It's a trip actually. A couple of weeks ago, I saw a red rag Sureño. They look just like Northerners. Oh, I'm telling you, there's a lot of red rag Southern neighborhoods down here. that video, people thought I was like lying and making this shit up and I'm full of shit and blah 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 blah. If you read all the comments, you see all these people that are like, "Oh, this fool don't know what he's talking about. This fool blah 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 blah." And that already led me to know that yeah, these people are not from California. Because those who are from California, this is not strange to. I mean, from Southern California, this is not like what the fuck. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I seen guys wear red bandanas. It's a different program in Mexico on the country. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you know, like a lot of the poverty rate is up, and not only that, but this ran different, right? Like he's the head of his, you know, he's the boss. He's the boss. So he's the boss, right? Down here, there really isn't a boss. There's structure of individuals, right? So if anybody cooperates, they'll just get whacked by the next, you know, set of individuals, right? Not one single person holds power. So that's why it works different. El Chapo's looking for you. El Chapo's locked up. And like I said, this is stuff out there. It's been out there for many, many years. There's literally documentaries about it. Can cartels establish their criminal organizations here in the United States but operate in the... No, there is, you know, cartels here in California. I mean, there has to be. I mean, you know, they move the drugs around. Where are they? I have no idea, but they're there somewhere. You know, people don't mind them. It's kind of like somebody that sells drugs. They're not. People don't really mind. It's when you're trying to take over territories and establish like this is my territory. That's where it becomes different. You know, if they're just moving drugs around, they're not claiming territory. They're just doing business. I mean, because everybody gets their drugs from somewhere, right? From somebody. And since reports say that they, you know, anyway, 90% of the drugs here in America, they most likely everyone gets from them. How that works and where they are, I have no idea. I'm used to their light being at 6 p.m., but at 9 p.m. Oh, my lives? Nah, right now it's 6. Yeah, fucking, but it's dark as hell. The hour change makes all the difference in the world. Oh, it's 9. Oh, it's 9 where you're at right now. Orale, all right. Oh, damn, so you're a few hours ahead of us, bro. You're in the future. What's cracking like in Dashpool? What's good, Loke? In Mexico, the cops will turn. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hands down, bro. Right there, you can buy your way out of situations, bro. If the price is right. I dare you to pick a fight with the cartel. Why would I do that? That wouldn't be a smart idea. By the way, yesterday when I said El Chapo didn't say that, man, he didn't snitch on his own. Oh, on his own organization. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't see nothing in reports saying that he told on his own. No, I never see nothing like that. That would have been bad for business. If you would have told on your own, then why would anybody else listen to you, right? They would think you would just turn them in. So, you know, you pretty much would be cooked. But if you tell on your rivals, that's maybe why they were not. So maybe that's why they were cool with it, like because it wasn't on their own. I don't know. Strange in itself. But like I said, because he's the head honcho, though. Here you tell on one of your rivals, but everybody gets along in there, right? And everybody rolls as one in there, so it will become an issue, no? Yeah, poverty is always when you live in a country that's just a third world country where corruption is just everywhere and poverty is like to the max, you're always gonna have corrupt police officers because they're risking their lives and not getting paid much. What you're offering them, they probably will make like in years. So of course they're gonna take the of course they're gonna. Everybody has a family to feed, you know. My life for a little bit of money, or I could just turn the other cheek and get all this money that I probably wouldn't earn in years. Okay, I'll take the bribe. And they don't have to worry about not looking into it, right? Because, like I said, it's everything's corrupted, right? So they don't got to worry about that kind of situation. Not like in America, right, where people can get money somewhere else, right, and like jobs, you know, or whatnot, right? And you have fucking organizations that are established to review police officers in general themselves, right? Like internal affairs, right? They would have to worry about them. Not like in Mexico, they don't got to worry about. Don't get me wrong. Not to say that there isn't corruption here in America. There is. It's just not to the point of like these other countries, though. I was curious if in the Central Valley had a reputation of being why would he think that? Or why would he have that? Why would he believe that to be so? Don't tickle my bagel. Don't tickle my. What the hell? No Chapo never gonna see bro. Then. Yep, not where he's at least. So far from what I've read on that, it seems that he's in a good time in there. It seems that it's going cuckoo from all the isolation. Because I was saying that they don't even let him talk to his family because how his family is involved in the drug trade. That's why he's not allowed to communicate, not even with them. Which other inmates are allowed to communicate with their loved ones, he's not. I don't know. That's kind of, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Like, damn, that's like, you don't even get a phone call to your mom, But, I mean, considering his situation, I guess I could see why they wouldn't want that, right? But it's still a fucked up predicament, though. Isolation will drive anybody mad. Especially how that prison is designed, right? To not let them not even a window to see if it's like day. And they throw them off on their time pattern. That way they can't keep track of time. So they don't even know if it's nighttime or daytime or nothing like that, right? Hey, psychologically, that would fuck with somebody big time. I should be back in the Ocho by next week. The East Coast cold as fuck right now. Orale, you in the East? Damn. Huh, that's real winter over there, huh? Shit ain't no joke. There was a cartel booth recently here in Atlanta. They arrested 2 places. Orale. No, yeah, of course. America's always going to have a presence of that type of shit. It's just, you have so many buyers here in America. Like, this is their moneymaker right here. Because people can afford it here. Right? Over there, probably people really don't have the money to be affording to buy drugs just like that, right? Well, over here, people got the bread. Cartels are more dominant criminal empire in Mexico. The street gangs. Oh yeah, no, yeah, of course, because street gangs are not gonna generate money like that. You know what I mean? And what these people want is money. That's why everything is being done. Everyone's just trying to feed their families. Because the lack of work over there. You could get a job, but then, like I said, you're working nonstop and getting paid shit. Like you're always at work, but yet you still can't pay. You still can't put food on the table. They say those will end up like 7 studios. Damn, who said that? That's crazy. I wouldn't know nothing about that. I travel a lot, bro. Oh, do you? Oh, that's right, my boy. That's cool. So you be going all throughout the United States, huh? They say smart criminal organization keeps the police in their pocket, not as their enemy. That's how it works. Oh yeah, of course. No, yeah. That's the thing here in America. Like I said, you do have some corrupt police officers, right? It's just very few, and not only that, but the corruption that exists is not aligned with the criminal organizations, though. Like you have corruption, like let's say police gangs, where they falsify reports, they plant evidence, they cover each other's backs, shit like that, because that is corruption. Um, you know, but not to say like they're working with the gangs and stuff like that. You get what I mean? Meaning street police officers. Now incarceration, I don't know. I don't know nothing about none of that. We can't touch nothing about none of that. Dubs and Gunners could end up like Seven Studios or G Faces. They keep playing. I don't know, brother. All I know is that they tell lies. That's it. Their safety, I don't know nothing about it. Hopefully not. Hopefully they carry on with their lives and they become productive people of society, and just stay on the right path and leave the life behind like they claim they have, and ride off to the sunset. But then why do Southsiders do business with cartels? Also, some Southsiders try. I don't know, brother. I wouldn't be able to tell you nothing about any of that. Like I said, I'm not saying that cartels like tell. I'm saying that I was saying El Chapo had the information out there that he was cooperating with law enforcement, right? And why they slide, I don't know. I'm assuming, maybe because he's the boss, maybe because it was the rival. I don't know. I was just spitballing. You know, because he did tell, and like I said, he was able to function fine and dandy for many many years. It's not like this is new stuff. Like no, this is stuff like has been around for a long time. Like I said, once we're talking about like like the South and the Sud, and I don't know. I'm not gonna touch on the thing like that, right? And that subject is a lot complex, bro. It's like people only guess of what they think of how it works, right? Even like in gangland and all that, they don't know how it works. Truly nobody knows how it works, right? Because it never stays the same. And I'm not gonna talk. Maybe you'll find a YouTuber on YouTube that touches on that kind of stuff, right? But as in for here, we just are not gonna go into none of that. Did you get the chance to watch? Oh, you know what? Who the hell was I watching yesterday? I was watching some yesterday, but they weren't. They were from the. Well, I don't know if they were old highlights or new highlights, but they were the teams here in the United States. But the quality of the game was kind of whack. Whoever, I don't know, the what film or who's the one that broadcast the games, right? They could do a little better from the camera angles. Corruption and law enforcement exists. It's not. Oh yeah, yeah. Here, corruption, like I said, corruption exists everywhere. There's just gonna be some people out there that are just gonna. Temptation is too much for them. You know, even smart individuals that have like graduated from like the best universities and were like you know smart. Let's say a chemist, right? Dabbled a little bit in legal stuff or a little bit of extra bread on the side. People also poke fun of Wes Watson for having a small. We he exposed himself. He did. Well, I don't know. I don't care for that kind of that kind of stuff. I don't care about the size of wee wee. Like, was the sad and funny part is the amount of lies he tells. Now it would be different if he comes on and he says that he has a big ass wee wee, but he doesn't. Then it's hilarious then, right? But I mean, yeah, because it's one of the places to go to if you're gonna try to clown somebody and bring him down, especially if it's a man, right? But I don't know. I just have this weird feeling like just talking about another man's penis for so long is just, I don't know. It's just not the thing to do. Like, wow, you sure have a lot of penis jokes, bro, and we're spending a lot of time talking about this subject. Like, like, what's up with you, man? Like, why do you keep bringing up penises? So there is some individuals that are like that, right? Like, that's all they do, right? Is penis jokes, and you're wondering, like, hey, my boy, you talk a lot about penises, homie. Like, I don't know, like, what's up with you, bro? The Mexico street gangs have to fall in line with the cartel rules and can operate and do businesses, but I don't know, brother. You know, that's already a whole different, topic there. I don't live in Mexico, so I can't really say how it's ran over there. I would like to travel to Europe either. To go, or, oh shit, just a mirar a ver qué pedo or what? The cartel's girlfriends are vicious, pissed. That was again mummified. That's good, bro. That's good. They think that they're big and bad. They run the show. Hey, you don't know who my man is, eh? But the people that travel to Mexico, especially Mexican Americans, say agree free. I mean, yeah, I don't get it. Oh man. Like, hey, fool, I bet you have a small dick. Like, out of all the things that you could be thinking about, what do I have? You went to my penis? Like, I bet you have a small penis. Interesting you decided to go there, but like, why are you thinking about that? It's like the money argument. Like, when somebody's losing an argument and they'll be like, shut up, fool, you broke, dog. I have more money than you. Like you're beating somebody in the argument, right? And they're like, man, so what, fool? I have a bigger dick than you. Like, okay, that may be true, right? But that doesn't change what we're debating right here. It doesn't automatically now make you right about the subject that we're speaking. Like, so why the fuck you trying to change the conversation for? That doesn't automatically mean now you're right. I'm telling you, bro. People are, see, that's what happens when um people have that sheep mentality and they can't think for themselves, right? It's the most common. They use the arguments that everybody makes and everybody falls in line with, right? Because nobody dissects the subject, right, or the arguments. Like, what does that have to do with anything that we're discussing right here, right now? No. You see that people were laughing. That means I'm right. Like, no, that doesn't. No, that doesn't mean none of that. It means that they found your joke funny, right? But that doesn't change, that you're losing this argument. Stress free. Oh, why? Because they don't pay rent over there. What's a place you would like to travel? If I could afford it, probably like New Zealand, bro. I would probably go to New Zealand. It probably seems like the most peaceful place to travel to. where you don't have to worry about getting kidnapped and held ransom. Nah, it does seem like it's a peaceful place though. They do seem like. Or what was the other place that I seen that it was like probably the most safest area in the world, or and it has like fucking like the clear lakes and shit like that. I think it was New Zealand, or was it Switzerland, Ireland? No, not Ireland, Switzerland. Somewhere over there. I would have said India, bro, but I heard there's be tigers roaming everywhere, bro. I heard they just be walking down the street, and I'm just like, yeah, like I ain't really trying to have a tiger that close to me. I don't know who that is, right? I don't know if that's maybe just a stereotype that they do, right? But I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that though. Yeah, people assume stuff about the search structure and wide channels, but even I know the information gets outdated and changed. Not only that, but there's some there's always gonna be some sense like some a little bit of animosity there, right? Like where they're gonna make up some stuff or try to make it seem worse than what it is. You get what I mean? Because they feel some type of way. You know what I mean? That's just the human in them, right? It's kind of like when somebody's talking about their ex, that left them and it ended up bad. They'll probably throw a little bit of extra on it, like, man, she was the biggest hoe in the world. She was probably a hoe, but not the biggest in the world, right? They always gonna add that extra. Families would go by um, Mexico because it's more organic. Um, supposedly, I don't know. Mexicans, um, they do believe in a lot of strange remedies. I'm not gonna lie. My grandma, she had a lot of weird remedies. And I ain't gonna lie. And it's like, you know what? I think we need to go to the hospital, all right? Because this vaporu and this fucking candle smelling and this herbal tea, that shit's not working, all right? They're dying. Now, I ain't gonna lie. My grandpa gets sick and my grandma will come with all these remedies and shit. And like, hey, you know what? It's not working. We think we need to take him to the hospital, right? They know what they're gonna do. Like, no van a saber. And it's like, grandma, they graduated from the best universities in the planet, all right? You guys didn't even finish the second grade. So I think they're gonna know a little bit more about what's happening right here, right? Because this whole voodoo and praying shit, it's not working. I'm sorry. I don't want to come off like a dick, but it's true, all right? All these prayers and all this shit is not working. We need to take him to where science can fix the problem here, right? Because if people really want to, if people really were to leave everything to prayer, everybody would be dead on this planet already. We need solutions here, not fucking luck and miracles and magic. The reason why people have been able to prosper in life, why everything is the way it is now, is because everybody has always questioned the Bible, religion, and stuff like that, right? They leave it to prayer, challenge that, leave it to this and that. They challenged all of that, and that's how we discovered everything we discovered, by going up against the grain. Because if we really believed the gospel, man would have never prospered. We would still be living like how they did back in the days. If nothing would have been challenged. If we would have believed how the moons and stars were created, we would have never had, all the technology that we have now, or medicine. If we really left everything to prayer, no. You could watch cricket games. Canada seems like a peaceful place. No, well, shit, their crime rate is pretty high too. They got a lot of gangs out there too. In India, there's a lot of stray dogs walking around. Well, there's a lot of stray dogs around here too. Let's see. is one of the most safest places in the world, but they have it very strict. Oh, serio? See, I wouldn't want to go either where a place where a government is like assholes like that either. Like where you can't fucking say shit. Like the death penalty, imprisonment for having drugs. Damn, for having drugs, that is crazy. Shit, so they gave up on rehabilitation, huh? Have I ever been to Mexico City? Yes, I have. Boxer doesn't, like, he would make up stuff. He said he doesn't. I don't know. I don't scope at his stuff, so I really don't know how he behaves. My Lubbock is definitely up in the building. Love you, baby. Unlike Renegade Media, he seems to like a little salty. Yeah. People have sent me clips where he just seems like he's upset. Where he's like, oh, that he supports the whole El Salvador prison thing. And it's like, well, if you were to be in El Salvador, then you would be locked up in there, right? For all your tattoos, though. You can say you left the light behind, but they're not going to care. You know? Most Mexicans in Mexico here in the United States didn't even make it past elementary school. Yeah, well, most of them that come over here don't even attend school. Because they would have already been like older adults. And most people like in the ranchos, they only get like a education to like the 3rd grade, because they have to work, right? They have to actually help out, put food on the table. So they really don't prioritize education before. I'm talking about back then. Now it's a little bit different. Before people come out and say blah, 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 right? But I'm saying before, right? And even nowadays, it's still not as prioritized like how it is here, at least. Most older Mexican individuals I've talked to only did make it to like the 3rd grade. It was rare that I met somebody that made it past the 3rd grade, because they had to help and put food on the table. There was no time to be que la escuela, que nada. You know what I mean? Yeah, back then it was just different times. You know what I mean? Yeah, neither did my grandpa. My grandpa only made it to the 3rd grade. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. Got to get back to it. It was good chopping it up with you guys, and we out.